Before we go today, I want to leave you with one more thought from Habakkuk. Habakkuk received good news from the Lord. It was good news, but it was confusing news and maybe not the news that he wanted to hear. He received the news that God was going to destroy the enemy of God's people, the Babylonians. However, it wasn't happening yet. See, a lot of times we sit back and we're thinking, well, God's not responding. He's not doing what I thought he was going to do. It seems like he's silent. But I would say sometimes in the silence, we feel like God's far off. I wouldn't say he's silent or not there at all. I would just say he's out at war fighting some battles we don't even know about. So he received the news that God was going to destroy the enemy of God's people, the Babylonians. However, it wasn't happening yet. This was something that was going to be happening in the future. See, Habakkuk was still in the same predicament. He heard from God, but his situation didn't change. Habakkuk was wanting a response that led to immediate action, but Habakkuk got an answer that was a not yet. See, hardship was still surrounding him. Things still looked like they were turning for the worst. But what did Habakkuk do? In chapter 3, Habakkuk wrote a worship song. A worship song. What's a worship song going to do? These people are coming to destroy our families. These people are coming to destroy our city. What's a worship song going to do? We have an enemy attack on our hands. What is a song going to do, Habakkuk? But worship changes the narrative. Worship changes the way we look at things. Worship changes the way that we respond to things. Listen to what Habakkuk wrote. This is awesome. Chapter 3, verse 17 through 19. Even though the fig trees have no blossoms and there are no grapes on the vines, even though the olive crop fails and the fields lie empty and barren, even though the flocks die in the fields and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in my God of my salvation. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon the heights. See, Habakkuk acknowledges the hardship, but then he changes the narrative. You can say, I'm not a singer, and you don't have to sing a worship song. That's fine. But you can make statements just like Habakkuk did. There may not be any more grapes, but I will rejoice in the Lord. There may not be any more animals, but my strength comes from the Lord. There may not be any more crops, but God, you are my provider. There may not be any more money in my account, but God, you're going to throw some in there unexpectedly. There may be a lost person in my family, but God, you're going to save them when it looks like there is no way. There may be bad news from the doctor today, but my God's your healer. Today you may feel lonely, but my God's a comforter. See, Habakkuk begins to praise God because God had given him everything he needed to weather the storm. See, Habakkuk had the attitude that Paul writes of in Romans chapter 8, verses 28. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to the purpose for them.